Sucks. It's never going to be the same team, and we know that as players, and that's the frustrating part again about yesterday.
How'd you make it through, this season? Obviously dealing with stuff here and there, like every player does.
Pretty good, man.
Yeah, it feels like you made it through pretty good.
Perspective-wise, comparatively healthier than I've ever been, so that's a blessing.
You've had a night-ish to sleep on it. How are you able to start processing what happened yesterday?
I think it starts now, and just try to channel it and use it, whether it's anger, sadness, whatever it is. Try to use that as motivation into the off season.
What was Dan's message in the final team meeting there?
Kind of along those lines is just never forgetting that feeling of watching them celebrate across the field and listening to them in the locker room. Just never forgetting that.
Do you have a lot of hope, Frank, with how many forward pieces that you've got here, how many young guys that really became stars this season for your football team? I mean, the future does look bright, right?
100%. There's so many talented dudes in this room. Not only talented, but the right mindset. Just the right wired guys that are willing to do whatever it takes for their teammates and put it on the line. And again, I'm just so grateful to be a part of this locker room because there's a lot of special dudes.
Hey Frank, I know that Jared's a guy that internalizes a lot of stuff and puts it on his shoulders. How do you, as his teammate, try to lift him up after a game where he had some real struggles?
Well, I think that's what makes a lot of these guys great is I think we all kind of look within, and that's just part of it. I mean, if you get to this level, you're always going to be looking at yourself before you're pointing fingers, and that's what makes us as good as who we are. And I think that's what makes him great is he's gonna feel it, it's gonna burn, but he knows. We all know that everybody in this team had a hand in last night, and it was we as a team just didn't play well enough to win.
What's the hardest part about this? I mean, it's abrupt, it's final. This has been your family all season.
Yeah, I think abrupt. I really. It was feeling special, and it's frustrating because then now it's over. Lockers are cleaned out, and we're on to next year, and that's just the reality of this league.
We've seen Dan fall on the sword a lot of times to just take responsibility for everybody and the team's impact, but we've also seen Dan be emotional on the podium. What does that mean for you guys to have a coach who wears his heart on his sleeve like that so publicly and loves the game so fiercely? Yeah, there's no doubt in our minds that Coach Campbell cares about every single one of us and doesn't take it lightly, his position. Just so appreciative of the leader he is emotionally, not only football, but just a leader of men and always willing to take the fall when in reality it is on all of us. And I'm just so grateful to have him as a head coach.
Frank, I'm sure it's hard to compare the way season's in, but is there a different feeling compared to last year leaving San Francisco?
I'd say it's I wouldn't be right to answer that right now. Definitely super frustrated right now, but again, I don't feel like right now is the right time to answer that.
You said things are going to change. They are going to change. That's how it works. One of the possible changes, there's interest in Hank. I don't think that probably surprises you as a guy that's been under him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
What's the balance there of not wanting that to happen, but also wanting the best to happen for people you care about?
No, you refuse to let Hank leave. I haven't played in this league without Hank, and I don't plan on doing it. So I'll sabotage him. I'll leak stories, whatever it takes.
What does he mean to you? Why does he mean that much?
I don't think I could play in this league without the guy. He's everything to me. He's been there since day one. He's, this league, there's a lot of coaches, but there's not many coaches like him that empower his players, and really it is an open dialogue. And really just does everything he can to put us in the best positions to be confident and go out there and play well. And then, again, I've said it before, but him being a former center in this league has been invaluable to me, talking about how we see things. And not only him giving me advice, but me telling him how I see it and him being willing to listen. And I think that's so rare, and I'm just so grateful for him.
If he ever called plays, what would that going off look like?
run, play action, run. No, I think he would. I truly think he would be great. He's bright, man. He's bright. He's so creative in what he does with this offense. I know Ben gets a lot of the credit or whatever, but that whole staff, they're all very innovative and creative, and they do a really good job.
Maybe the suddenness of this. I mean, I know whenever it ends, it's always kind of sudden. But does that add to the pain or whatever emotion you're feeling right now?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's brutal though. Like people are asking me today, when am I going home and stuff like that. I wasn't planning on it, I wasn't planning on any of this, and that's the frustrating part. Is it's just like that. We're packing up and it's over, and it's something that you got to process.
Skip said something yesterday, like OTAs are the next thing we have. And it's kind of like, wow, that's just shocking to think that.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just again frustrating.
Frank, when things started going wrong last night, was it did you put a finger on why, and did it just sort of snowball? Like one mistake led to another, led to a turnover, led to whatever? Being in the middle of it, how did you?
I would say my opinion's as good as anybody, but it's just I felt like if you look at it as a whole, we just didn't play complementary football. Like offense didn't have defense's back, defense didn't have offense's back, but like all of us in all phases, we weren't playing complementary football, and that's something we've done so well throughout the year. Is something happens on offense, defense is there. Something's not going well on defense, offense is there. Special teams, so on, and it's just we weren't in a rhythm that way. I feel like.
If there are some stat changes, how confident do you feel like the infrastructure is in place to just kind of sustain this and keep it going, the level that you guys have had at the last couple of years?
I just believe at the end of the day, this league's all about players, and the foundation that Brad and Dan have set with the pillar stone players in this locker room. I think it's going to be tough for us to do anything besides success. And there's some always talented players all over this league, but some of the talented players in this locker room are built like nothing I've ever seen. You look at Penei, you look at St.Brown and so on, Hutch and so on, Alim, like those are young guys that are not only as talented as all get out, but they have the right mindset.
How did these experiences? How did these experiences kind of, could lead to, bigger and better things? So I mean, even these setbacks.
That's the goal, right? I think that's the growth mindset and the way you got to look at it. It's the brutal pill to swallow, and it's definitely not what any of us were expecting. But at the end of the day, sometimes you just have to look at it like any sort of adversity is an opportunity to have experience and learn and hopefully add wisdom, in whatever aspect you apply it, and to hopefully apply it in the future and have success.
Is it something that Dan articulated, I guess, after the game, in the sense that, obviously, it's raw emotions of everything.
Just along the lines of just, you just never forget a team coming in here and celebrating across us and hearing them in the visiting locker room. I think that's just something you can't let ever go away.
Not just for continuity's sake, how eager would you be to see somebody promoted if Ben leaves?
I'm not going to speak on that. Whatever happens, I have 100% confidence in Coach Campbell and whatever he decides.
It's part of the game. It happens. You can't really control it. You're just out there playing hard and something happens. So, that's pretty much what was going on. And you got to control what you can control, and part of that you can't really control. So,
how tough is the finality of this and last night? Now everybody's here saying their goodbyes and cleaning out the lockers.
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough. Not what anybody expected this year. We put in a lot of work to do what we want. We had goals set out for this year, and things took a different turn, and we're kind of here now. So it happens, but it's definitely tough. Kind of hard to swallow, and nobody knows what to think about it really. But yeah, it's definitely tough. So.
Alim, how did you watch the game last night, and just how hard was it to watch your teammates without you in a big game like that?
Yeah, it's always hard. Whether it's playoffs or a regular season game, I was watching. It's always tough. You want to be out there with the guys competing, but Yeah, I watch it at home just like everybody else do, but it's tough. It's tough watching it for sure.
Surgery went well, and everything you're on pace, and everything's good.
Yeah, everything's on the correct path and some. So yeah.
Skipper was saying last night just the next thing on the schedule would be OTAs and how crazy that is to say and even trying to process while their teams are still playing. The story for some of this defense, really so many guys like yourself, is going to be trying to recover from injuries. How do you wrap your mind around what's next for this whole entire team?
Yeah, well, as far as with OTAs and all that stuff coming up, individually I'm just trying to get back on the field. I'm trying to get stronger every day. But as far as the team, we have the same goals as next year. It's always going to be the same goal, and that's every team's goal is to win the Super Bowl. But we're just going to put in that much more work to be that more prepared. So there's no blueprint to it, and there's no hiding from it. You have to put in the work to get there, and that's just what we're going to do. That's what we do as a team anyway. So
we saw your reaction when the injury happened. Did you know right away that it was probably worst-case scenario? And just given how well you were playing this year, like how devastating was that just personally to have your season cut short like that?
I had no clue what it was, but I knew it was something a little fishy about it, how I was feeling at the time. But I thought maybe it was just a little loose and just gonna be sore. But yeah, I had no clue what it was. But as far as season cut short, it was definitely tough, 100% tough. This is the first time I've ever had a season in an injury, and first time having surgery, so it was all new stuff to me. But it's definitely tough. But you kind of have to put your mind frame in a different type of spot now that that we're done. I got to get back on the field as fast as I can. I'm not gonna rush anything, but I'm gonna push myself for sure. So.
What was that timetable that came in 2021? Just experiencing that year by year, y'all getting better and better.
Yeah.
What would you take overall from this year though? Like it seemed like every year been a different level of learning, but what can you process to take from this run this year?
I think this year we were able to display a lot of maturity. We could always play ball, always play football. That's why everybody's in the NFL. They're all good football players. Everybody is. But once you can put other things on the field, like your maturity and different things that you learned from vets before you, just being able to apply that to the field, I think we were able to do that this year. And we did that in a lot of games this year, actually. And it's just going to continue to grow for us. We still have a fairly young squad, and we still have guys that are still coming into their form. So I for sure see a great future for us.
Just curious, we've seen Campbell fall on the sword and be quite emotional on the podium many times this season. What does it mean to you to have a coach like that who really wears his heart on his sleeve?
It means a lot. That means he's putting his all into it, and nobody ever doubted that or questioned that. It means a ton, though. That's what you have fighting for you as a coach. You put that same product on the field as players. The message is great to see. But it means a lot to have a coach like that, putting it all on the line. That's what he does every week. So
I assume somebody with like AG, you want AG to reach what he wants, his goals. But yet, I assume you guys don't want to see him leave. How much of a loss would that be for you guys?
It would be huge. AG is the culture of our defense. He's built who we are as a defense. And a lot of guys in the team take after him as well. And it's the same way with, when we have, for our offensive coaches, we learn a lot from them as well. But that'll be huge. I'm excited to see what AG does. I have no clue what's about to go down, but definitely excited to see.
Do you have any? Can you hang on to the idea that if this team was healthy, if you were healthy, that you would have reached your goals? Is that something you can carry?
Yeah, I would 100% say that, but that's not what happened.
Right.
The reality of it is, we lost, and you can't make any excuses for it, no matter who's out there. But we can sit here and we could do that all day long, but that's not what happened. So I can't even live with that myself. But I feel like coming back next year, guys coming back, we're doing what we need to do.
What's the hardest part about all of this, Alim, this last day, much earlier than you all expected and anticipated?
Just that. Much earlier than we expected and anticipated. Really just that, honestly. It just kind of...
the goals that you...
Yeah.
The goals to lose all the goals so abruptly.
It's tough. It's definitely tough because you put in a lot of work to try to reach those goals. But that's probably the best way to put it. It's just we didn't expect it or anticipate it that early. So.
Do you have a timetable for your return? Do you think you'll be back by training camp?
I have no clue timetable. I'm just day by day right now. So, yeah.
You mentioned the future. I mean, how much does that have to do, just I guess, with the infrastructure? And do you think it can absorb, staff changes and such? I guess this offseason, just to kind of continue.
Yeah, I mean.
Forward, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that happens to teams every year. I mean, players move in and out, coaches move in and out. So it's just you got to roll with the punches, keep going. So you just got to get better every year as a player. Do what you need to do out there, and it'll take care of itself. So.
Did this team underachieve?
I wouldn't say underachieved at all, actually. I feel like we got a lot done this year and proved a lot of people wrong. Did we win that Super Bowl? No, and that's the main goal. That's everybody's main goal here. But I wouldn't say underachieved at all.
I actually was finna have an opportunity to play, that was going to be the Tampa Bay week. I actually was coming up as a starting nickel that week, and a lot of people didn't know that. I got hurt in warm-up, so it was kind of a setback, a step back. So now I just got to do is be available. It kind of was a red shirt year, but you don't get to pick those situations. Don't nobody just pick to be hurt, I never picked that for myself. I always wanted to go out there with guys like Terrion and, BB, just the type of intensity they bring and the type of team that we had. So I'm going to just take everything that I watch from them and learn from them and develop my game in the offseason and be a better person and be available.
That speaks a lot maybe to what the growth that you showed behind closed doors, that they're going to put you in that role. So for those of us that didn't see you, every minute of those practices, what do you think you did to earn that opportunity that almost came your way?
Actually, all I was doing was, being competitive. That's how I got here, being competitive and willingly tackler and being physical. And I think I displayed that enough that I was going to be able to show in week 2, but it didn't go to my way. Obviously, like I said, I just stayed prayed up. Every situation that came to me, as anybody in the training room, anybody in the building, I took it under the chin and I kept going, showed faith, smiled every day, and it just didn't go my way. And in some aspects in life, everything don't go your way, but it's not about that no more. It's the next step. We already lost, game over with. Now let's develop a new habit, new body, and be available. That's all I can do.
What are your plans in that regard for the offseason? Where are you going to train at? What do you hope to improve on, I guess, specifically?
I'm going to be in probably the star in Texas and train where I would train in my draft process. I got a lot of resources due to being, Kirby, BB, and TA. They got a lot of DB trainers that they're going to go to, and I'm just going to venture off and keep building our brotherhood and going places with them with DB trainers and, building a strong relationship with them because I didn't get to actually play this year.
You feel like you're ready for a bigger role now?
Obviously, I do. I seen everything I needed to see. I see what the NFL brings. The only thing I do is be a pro and get better.
How much better do you feel like you are right now than when you came here?
I feel, body-wise, I feel great, honestly. I'm just sad the season ended the way it did. I came in hurt, with the sports hernia. I was already hurt. I came here, was limited. They did a great job with me in the training room. Got hurt again with my hamstring. They built my hamstring up all the way to where I felt great. And the season just didn't go our way, so I couldn't display it, but it's okay. We'll be back.
If this is your last year with Aaron Glenn, I guess what are you going to take away from your one season with him?
That his goal for the team was his goal for everybody. Like, it don't matter who he was, undrafted, first round pick, second round, in between. He always coached you the same. He loved you hard, and he just wanted what's best for you and the team. And I had a talk with him the other day. He gave me some words of encouragement and told me he wanted me to change the narrative of what people think of me, and that really was going to help me in the offseason. And I'm just happy that he was here no matter what, if he's here or not. But he's a great man, and if somebody get him out, they're going to have a hell of a coach.
You kind of mentioned a little bit, but in what ways has Carlton kind of helped you in your rookie year?
What he did was he made me sit right next to him. So he taught me how to take notes, how to look at film, and if I had a question, he was always on my right to answer the question. Even though I was injured and stuff, probably was down a little bit, he came to me and told me, just keep going. This is the NFL. This is the business. We know you're not purposely getting hurt. It's just the way the business goes sometimes, and it's your rookie year. Everybody's rookie year different. Some people had the higher seat. Mine was a little bit on the lower seat, but he said this is a year-to-year business and day-to-day business. Just next year be better. Yeah.
This is your first time going through it in the NFL, like this suddenness of the way it ended. I know it was not the way anyone sort of expected it. So what was today like? What was last night like for you?
Last night to me, obviously I didn't go to the game I was watching, but what I did see was like my brothers, hurt I can tell how they was after the game and just talking to them and how Coach Campbell hurt. You never want to see guys who really give their all for the game and who really put the city of Detroit on their backs every day, even the state of Michigan on their backs every day, and come in and work nicked up, bruised up, and just give it their all. So that's how I feel about that.
What do you think this defense, had it been healthy, could have looked like right now?
I really don't go off the what ifs, because if I go with the what ifs, I can say what if I played. I couldn't go out there and say plays that people made mistakes on, I could have done better. So I don't really go into that. But what I know is if we had a healthy team, I feel like it would be a whole different narrative. But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Day moves on, business moves on, we get better.
I apologize if you were asked this. What was the biggest thing you learned from AG?
Biggest thing I learned about AG is just he gonna coach you hard regardless who your first round, second pick, or undrafted. He coach all his guys the same, because when you step out on the field, it's not gonna be no drop off.
How about Deshae? What did he mean to your development?
He mean a lot to me. Deshae was he played in the league for several years, and some of the things I was going through, I would have a conversation with Deshae, and he'd tell me it's okay, just keep going. It's the NFL. Things happen. Everything that's happening to you doesn't happen to somebody else. So they always just kept my head in a safe place so I can, try to get back.
Be back if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, I would. If the opportunity presents itself, I would definitely like to be back, because I was, one of the original draft class here. So, yeah, I would definitely like to be back.
When you look back on that rookie year and just how far you've grown and just everything you've been through, both health-wise and position changes, like where have you grown the most, just person and player?
I would just say resilience. I feel like I had a lot of ups and downs over the last 4 years, but I just feel like I never quit. Ups and downs, position change, DB coaches changing. So I would say resilience, I guess.
What was it like? What was the mindset of this defense, man, when so many guys were out and you just seeing guys becoming interchangeable and continue to keep the streak alive and what y'all was able to do? Like, what did you see from this defense? Why were they able to adjust like that this year with so many injuries?
I just feel like it was like our mindset was like next man up, and we weren't gonna use injuries as an excuse, because we heard it, we seen it on TV, everything. Like we heard it a lot. We weren't gonna use that as an excuse. And it was just it was the opportunity for the next man to show what he was capable of. Shoot, just like I did last year. So I feel like that was our mindset.
If AG does end up leaving and not coming back, what's one thing that he said to you or something that you're going to remember for the duration of your whole career from Aaron Glenn?
That's tough. I mean, shoot, I've been with him for 4 years. That's a tough one, bro. I feel like there's so much things that AG has said that'll stick with me. Yeah, I can't even give you one, bro. Like, that's 4 years worth of sayings and stuff, So.
What would be a team getting in a head coach if they did hire him? What would they be getting in Aaron Glenn?
I would say he'd be a passionate guy, fiery guy, great coach that wants to see players succeed, player coach that you can literally just call whenever, go into his office whenever, watch tape with him. He'll give you his insight on exactly what he's thinking in this situation. And, he played too, so it's just more, I feel like a more like respect, but not respect, but a mutual, like, because he's been in that position, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Tough. Yeah, it's good. It is what it is.
I remember we sat here with you after 2022 and you said you could go to battle with this group over anybody else in this league. You guys have taken so many steps. How much different is it after the steps you've taken now? And I'm not ever going to call this a step back, but how do you look back at going 15-2 and losing in the disappointment of all this, with all the growth this organization has gone through?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, just like you said, we had a great regular season, and to, I guess, fall short, it's just tough. So I don't know.
Does it feel in your words, like a step back because you guys didn't get to the same point that you got last year?
I don't know.
What's the hardest part about all of this?
Like losing, I guess. I don't know, but just not. I guess accomplishing our goal.
Penei, sorry behind you, but you don't have to turn around. You've had a night-ish to sleep on it. Are you beginning to process things, or are you stuck in yesterday, maybe mentally?
I don't know.
Penei, Ford Field has become such a fortress for you guys. Like you seem unbeatable there, especially in prime time, high stakes games. When you see a team come into your building last night and celebrate in the locker room next door, just what goes through you in moments like that?
Like just disappointed, you know. It's always a tough feeling being at home and seeing that. So.
What was Dan's message? I mean, I know you've been a guy that followed Dan. What is his message to you? How has he been throughout this time as far as his leadership as well?
It's one of those things we got to take on the chin, and if you're not motivated as ever from this, then you just gotta look at the man in the mirror at the end of the day. So, yeah, just looking forward to next year.
How different will this team be if Ben does accept a head coaching job somewhere else? Ben Johnson?
I don't think too different, but I couldn't tell you.
Hey, Penei, Jared's taking a lot of criticism for last night's game. Just what would be your message of public support for your quarterback if you have one?
I just don't understand how a team sport that people can put a blame on one person at all. It's not like he's the one that's out there, by himself type. So it's just like, I'll never understand it. But again, that's not my world and what I pay attention to. So, but.
Hey, Penei, Frank says he's not letting Hank out of this building. I wonder if you agree with that.
Yeah, that's the same with me. Yeah, he's not going nowhere at the end of the day.
You guys explain that to him?
Yeah, he's not going nowhere.
Why has he meant so much to you?
Yeah, I don't know, but he's just been one of those pillars for me in this organization. When I first came in, I fell in love with him, and we got a history too. So he was recruiting me in high school when he was at UCLA. So a lot of history between us, and just our relationship has grown. So he's like Coach Campbell in terms of a figure in my eyes. So he's not going nowhere.
They did nothing special, and it's one of those things when you look in the mirror and you say, okay, we played them today, but we come out victorious. They came out yesterday and they had more energy than us. So, I mean, seeing them celebrate when they knew that they had won the game over there on the sidelines, and then just hearing them like in the locker room next door, like that's all the motivation you need going into next year. So.
Have you guys talked to Amik at all yet?
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him, and then even just speaking like relationships, like I thought it was kind of cool. Like when I was praying over him, like Jaden came right there and we prayed over him together. So like it's one of those things where it's bigger than football, but Amik in prayers, and he's gonna be in good hands.
How would you evaluate your season, and how much did you learn this year?
I learned a lot. I mean, I feel like coming into this role, it was a lot. And then I got better as the season went on, started to find myself, and it's one of those things where really looking forward to next year.
What's the next step for you? What are you looking forward to for next year?
Looking forward to playing again. that's all I think about. Like when I woke up this morning, I said, can't believe it's over. But I mean, the only way to ease pain and this type of heartache is to get back to the drawing board and get to work.
What's the hardest part about that?
I don't think it is no hard part about it. I just feel like just seeing my teammates and then having that type of, like, you could just sense the energy, just wishing that we were still playing. But then, well, actually, I'll take that back. I would say the hardest part is just knowing, like, the room gonna be different. Like, even in the locker room after the game, we took time to say, you know, guys, really cherish this moment in the locker room because it's gonna be different. And that's been the hardest thing about being in the NFL. Like, you know, normally in college and stuff like that, you go back and you normally see everybody. But, you know, the NFL is a business. And people get better opportunities, which I know that they'll take those. I'm happy that they'll take those. But it's hard because, I mean, you get close to a person and then they leave. So
With all you guys accomplished this year, I mean, 15 wins, so many franchise records. Is there a sense of shock after last night?
I wouldn't say it's a sense of shock. It's just a sense of that team, they outplayed us that night. So you had to get back to it, and like I said, the only way to ease the pain is to get back to the drawing board. I mean, it's always somebody who's dealing with something way worse than a lost football game. I love the game of football. I put my life into it. I know my teammates do, and I know we'll be back.
So much football as a rookie. How much better do you think you're going to be because of that? You know, heading into the offseason, heading into the next year. How beneficial was just getting all that playing time as well?
Oh man, it was nothing but experience. And then, like I always said, a lot of teams sit back and play zone. Like I had to go out there and challenge wide receiver ones, and I'm young, so I know I'll be the best corner in the league pretty soon. Very confident, and also I know my coaches like Coach Campbell, and then AG, my DB coach, Deshae and Jo, DT, like they taught me a lot. Taught me how to deal with adversity. And then, I mean, even at the beginning of the season, just the PIs. The PIs, it wasn't a matter of if it was like I was beat, it was a matter of just turning your head, locating the ball. And those are things that you could fix. Like, it was never a talent thing as far as lining up somebody who was better than me. It was just things from my inexperience, not seeing. But the only way to get better and gain experience is by being out there. And you can tell he's a confident man because he owns it. Like, he's one of those guys that he challenges us to be better every day. I'm grateful to have him as a head coach, and I mean, I hope I'm playing for him my whole career. So, yeah.
Did he have a message for you guys before you guys broke?
Oh, he just told us, man, he was like, this was an amazing group to be a part of. Hated that it ended this way, but I mean, you know, just us coming together as a family, like it was very, very grateful to him. You know what I mean? We felt the same way.
What's your off-season plan? You had at home. And are you looking forward to getting out of the winter for a little bit and getting back into the sunshine?
I ain't gonna lie, I got to rest. I mean, just between combine, then the draft, pro day, and then playing, like you ain't had the chance to get a break. So take a couple weeks to take a break, and I'm right back to it, man. We gotta get back. So.
Is that kind of the defining message in this locker room? I mean, the message last year was it's twice as hard to get back to this stage. I mean, was that kind of it whenever you guys leave here?
I mean, my message is we got to get back, but we will be back. So, yeah.
Physically, did you grow through the course of the year, coming from British Columbia University to an NFL weight program? Just, I mean, obviously you have the frame, but just strength, quickness. Did you notice all that kind of grow and develop as well too?
Yeah, I noticed that I leaned out a lot. I think when I got here, I was about like 23 and something body percentage fat body percentage or whatever, which is like pretty good for a person who's 360 pounds. But halfway through the year, with working with Corey, I dropped down to like 20%, and it was just like, you know, they got me right in the gym. Literally, this whole year felt like I was just in a hyperbolic chamber, and you know, while you guys were busy, like, you know, focusing on the season, which obviously is, but I was just out here just getting better. You know, I just trapped myself in this dark room, and I was just going to work every day because, you know, that's what this organization deserves, and that's what I'm gonna give the fans in this organization. And yeah, like I give credit to the whole coaching staff. Like they were just on me, developing me and all that. And yeah, like I said, my body fat percentage dropped, and not just that, but on the field, like Hank was always demanding of me to be physical because of my frame, and that showed. I'd say it showed halfway through the season. You know, I was able to start moving guys. Like it was great. So, you know, it's just a first step. So it's gonna get better from here.
He's got a strong reputation for developing guys. Like, what's his best attribute in getting the most out of his guys, whether you're the starter or whether you're in the hyperbolic chamber, kind of like he said?
Yeah. Oh, the best thing with Hank is that he coaches every guy in our room different. he has coaching styles for every guy that he knows that, oh, this is how you coach this guy. Oh, don't be too hard on this guy because, like, if you do, he's going to get in his head, and that's not the way you coach him. So that's the way he approaches each one of us. He has a different coaching style for each one of us, and that's something rare you don't find in every O-line coach, because most O-line coaches is like they come with their own style, and it's either like you get along with it or you don't, or you get out. Where it's him, he's willing to change the way he coaches depending on the player, which is just amazing. And I spoke with him today on our exit meeting. I know he had that OC interview with the Seahawks, but I told him, like, I hope you don't get it. I literally told him, I was like, I hope you don't get it, just laughingly, but that would be too greedy of me. But I'm a pray to God that he doesn't get it.
Frank said he was going to start tanking his interviews.
Yeah, I was like, that was the first question I asked him when I spoke with him today, because I've gotten to a point where I've created, like, I feel like I've created a good relationship with him, but not just him, but Steve Oliver, to the point where, like, I feel like I don't think any other O-line coach understands me more than he does. So that's the only reason why I'd love to have him here for my whole tenure if I could. So yeah.
What was it like learning from Penei and Taylor and some of the guys?
Oh, it was amazing. Penei and Taylor, I believe are the best two tackles out there, in this league, and it was great. They gave me constant feedback, and anytime I needed help, they were always there. And it's not even just them two. It was kind of like that whole starting five, that whole room. It's filled with veterans, even guys like Yodi. He helped a lot with my growth and development too. Guys like Kobe, the whole room just basically kind of took me in as like a little brother and just shared all their knowledge with me, and it was great.